You don't need fancy bins or a Pinterest perfect classroom to be organized, but you do need to avoid these 3 mistakes. Welcome back to Educator University. I'm Annie. Let's get into it. The first mistake you don't want to make is waiting till school starts to set up your organizational systems. Organized teachers make sure they have systems and routines in place before the school year starts. They ask these 3 questions. Where are students going to put their finished work? Where are you going to put your graded work to hand back to students? And where are students going to put supplies and materials? If you're not sure how to set one of these systems up, ask somebody in your team, who is the most organized teacher in this building? They will give you a name and you will go to that person and you will say, hi, I heard through the grapevine that you are one of the most organized teachers in this building. I'm looking for some tips on where students can put their finished work. Would you be able to show me your system? Now, when you ask this question, I'm guessing the teacher you ask will feel flattered and they will show you their system and you can go ahead and just use what they're doing. Especially if they teach the same subject or grade level, it's a great way to get relevant strategies that you can use before school starts. Some teachers are sometimes afraid to set up systems because they think, well, what if I want to change it? What if it's not a good system? Here's the thing. You can change it however you like. New trimester, after winter break, you can always make a change, but it's better to have something in place and shift and change than to have nothing at all. So you've avoided the first mistake by setting up systems to keep organization in your classroom before the students come. Then you want to make sure you don't make mistake number 2, which is skipping out on direct instruction on how to organize. Now, you may think that students know what to do, or if you just show them once, they'll know. I'm going to give you a little bit of a news flash. This is not the case. Students need direct instruction on how to do the organization that you have in your classroom. They also need to model and practice it multiple times before it is in their brains. We can't just expect them to see a sign and know what to do. You as a teacher need to be explicit in your instructions about how you are doing your system, because every class is a little bit different. In the first few days of school, you're going to be giving direct instruction on how things work in your classroom. You also want to have them practice. So do a fun activity. For example, maybe you're going to do some kind of get to know you coloring activity. Well, that's a great opportunity for you to teach them, where do the markers go? Where does the finished work go? And then maybe you give it a grade and you show how to pass it back. All these things can be done with a fun, easy, light activity. So when you get to more academic things, it's already in their brains and they know what to do. And that eliminates that stress. As I said before, this is not just a one-time thing. Throughout the first weeks, you really need to reinforce these over and over and over again. And it can be tiring, but I promise you, the more you reinforce it in the first few weeks, the more organized the classroom you're going to have as the year goes on. This last mistake is key to keeping your systems running for the entire school year. Make sure you don't make the mistake of forgetting to create dedicated time for cleaning and organization. If you don't do this, you might create systems and routines and start the year well, but you won't be able to continue it throughout the year. And then you end up feeling like, what was the point of it all anyways? So what do you need to do? Make sure to dedicate time in your planning for organization. This can look like a 5-minute folder clean out in the beginning of the week or end of the week, or it can be something as simple as a 10-minute cleanup at the end of the day. Finding little moments in time to put a timer on, put some music on, and have the students be part of the routine. Sometimes in the busyness of the academic material we're teaching, we kind of forget about it, especially as the year goes on. But if you make it part of your routine, it will keep the systems running flawlessly. And it's also a great way for students to learn responsibility. And for some of our students, they really like to get up and walk around and clean, organize anyways. It can be a great way to break up the material in your day. By avoiding these 3 mistakes, you too can be an organized teacher. It doesn't need to be fancy or cute or aesthetic. It just needs to be practical and work. I'm curious to hear from you. What are your top organization tips in your classroom? Share them down below in the comments so we can keep this conversation going. And if you're looking for specific things to buy for your classroom to organize, check out this video where I talk about how to set up a classroom and organization on a budget. I'll see you in the next video.